Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a lot of update information about Audio 3 of Savior for the upcoming CBT or closed beta testing that is going to happen on June 4, 2021. This video will have a mixture between the new gameplay information but also frequently asked question related to the overall and general 3 of Savior mobile. In addition, some of these response or questions were asked in Japanese, so I had to use a Google translation to break down everything from RE3 Savior official Twitter, so I do apologize if I mistranslated or missed out anything that was not included in the context. With that being said, let's go ahead and start with the first one. The first response is coming from a Japanese username, Horribly Noobs. He expressed his concern between the PC and the mobile version of the game when it comes to the class switching system after hearing the response from the RE2S Twitter team. So here is the response from the Twitter team. You can freely switch classes once you have learned it. Send the class experience and class level or count separately for each class. It is important to switch class in a timely manner depending on the purpose and location of the battles. So here is the response from the Horribly Noobs. One of the reasons why he quit the PC version of 3 of Savior because he had to switch class based on the type of enemy and content. He wanted to enjoy the game as much as possible with his favorite build, but he was forced to change the class and he could not enjoy the game at all. I kinda understand where this person is coming from because I'd experienced the same thing on the PC version. I used to be a Sadu main until I decided to switch to a full damage over time build like PD, Druid, and Krivix because IMC decided to take out the unit aspect for Sadu, which is the gimmicks out of body play style, and replace it with a stacking system that is probably the most annoying reward that I have ever seen on clerics. However, the biggest context here is the class balance and adjustment and how it greatly impacts the player's gaming experience for the mobile version. Even though the players are able to switch class freely whenever they want to, but it defeats the idea and purpose of enjoyable gaming experience and environments and forcing the player to follow the role of metagaming where one specific builds or classes exceed the performance of another classes without any weaknesses. According to the RE3 of Savior Twitter, they also clarified the class differences between the mobile and the PC version. Not only the number of classes that can be selected per character, but also the skill pool set by each class has been renewed. The biggest differences from the PC version is that it used a semi-free chop chain. Please be assured that after changing chop, you will never be fails or you have to retrain from scratch, or the idea of unsatisfied, fail, or rebuild your character for the beginning. On the other news, the RE2S Twitter team announced that they will lap up audio restriction for the Android user for the upcoming CBT, meaning that there are a possibility that you can play the closed beta testing outside of Japan without using VPN or creating Japanese Google account. The closed beta testing registration will be available until May 31st, so make sure to register as soon as possible. Moving forward to the skill tree system, we finally get to see more information about the class system and how many classes will be available per skill tree. According to the RE2S Twitter team, he is a little more specific about the RE2S class system. First of all, as a basic, multiple job gen class are linked to one initial class to form a class system. At the time of beta testing, which is the CBT on June 4, the Swordsman system will include Swordsmen, Highlander, Pelcesta, and Mamilio. Here is the skill tree for Swordsman. Now, what we know so far that there is 3 advancement class available, which include Highlander, Pelcesta, and Mamilio. The RE2S Twitter team also provide us a deeper look on some of these classes. Here is the Japanese version, and then here is the English translation version. Now, in addition to that, my biggest concern is actually Highlander, because there are some Highlander builds that use two-hand weapon on the PC version, and as far as I know, I don't know whether there will be a two-hand weapon available in the mobile version, because all I'm seeing right now is one-hand sword with a shield combination. Perhaps we'll get more information later on in the CBT. However, a Japanese Twitter user goes by Tomosuna Games brought up the same question about two-hand weapon. The RE2S Twitter response actually gave us a lot of hint onto this one, by the way, because according to the response, the current 5 class lines and weapons are just current. So I guess you could say that there is a huge possibility that two-hand weapon will be introduced later on into the game. The next one is going to be Wizard. This one is actually pretty cool, by the way, because we get to see more what kind of skill available for the second job for the Wizard compared to the first job advancement. For this one, it's going to be Emotes, and to my surprise, there are actually some skills that I have never seen before. The only skill that I'm familiar with is either Electros or Chain Lightning for short, and then there is Sandstorm. Next, we get to see more information about the open world of 3 of Savior Mobile. The mobile version seems to have an in-depth set of user interface to showcase specific buffs that are being applied to your character. Moreover, you can actually interact with other players in the open field as well. According to the RA2S Twitter team, the field is basically shared and the players other than yourself are also acting in real time. By tapping another player, you can actually support and apply buff effect. Maybe this will be a good chance for conversation or making friends. In addition, here is the full gameplay clip with in-game music. The next one is actually really interesting, by the way, because RE2S is getting all the possible emoji that was available on the PC version. The emotional expression that was popular on the PC version of Tree of Savior is still alive on the RE2S. Not only the poses but also the movements are involved, but of course it can be used even in the shooting mode. The shooting mode is actually the one where you can actually blur out all the user interface to take the perfect picture of your character along with the environment. And here's the full clips of the emoji.